Live from Ontario, it's the Majority Minority Show, where we explain the differences between provincial, majority, and minority governments.
Majority, minority, what's the difference between you and me? Minority, majority, ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba. Oh, yeah.
Hi there, I'm a majority government.
And I'm a minority government. Although we are both formed after an election in Ontario, and may seem the same, we have some significant differences.
I'm called the majority because the voters of Ontario have elected one party to a majority, that is, more than 50% of the seats in the Ontario legislature.
I'm called a minority because I consist of several different parties, where no one party has more than 50% of the seats.
It is important to note that I am a more prominent form of government in Ontario. In fact, most governments in Ontario are usually majorities.
Yes, it's true. I am much more rare and special. Only once in a while does a minority government make an appearance in Ontario.
When elected, I can usually do whatever I want. It is easier for me to pass the bills and make the laws that I want, and I usually do not have to worry about the opposition defeating me.
When I'm elected, I have to be a little more careful, and I often have to work with all of the parties in order to make laws and pass bills. If the opposition parties decide to vote against me, I could be out the door. So in order to prevent this, the government must rely on the support of other parties. This is required each time a bill is passed. It's even possible that the leaders of two parties will discuss forming a coalition, so the government knows it has a majority when it passes a bill.
But I am strong and decisive.
I exist on compromise.
I usually last for a full term, 4 years.
Often, I'll only last for a shorter period of time, say 1 or 2 years.
I have a question. Why do minority governments often only last a year or two?
Good question. Well, it's a long story. A minority government that does not have more than 50% of the seats in the legislature has no choice but to depend on other parties for the balance of power. Because different parties have different ideas on how to govern, it can be difficult to agree on everything. If enough members of provincial parliament disagree with or vote against the party in power, the minority government can lose the confidence of the House, and power can change hands to another party, or to a coalition of parties. Sometimes there is even another election.
Well, that's all the time we have for the Majority Minority Show tonight. Thanks for coming. See you next time.